Welcome to The Explainer. Sometimes a court case seems really small on the surface, maybe just a few $100s. But today, we're looking at a case over just $750 that peels back the layers on a much bigger story about family, stability, and what's truly best for a child. So on the surface, this thing looks super simple, right? It's just a financial fight between two parents. You've got a father who says he overpaid child support, and a mother who says that money is hers to keep. And the whole reason they're in court? It all comes down to this number, $750. That's it. But here's where it gets interesting. As soon as the judge starts asking questions, that simple money problem, it just completely unravels and turns into something way more complicated about a child who's caught right in the middle of all this family chaos. Okay, so let's break this down, starting with the father's side of things. His claim is pretty cut and dry, and it's all based on one major change in his son's life. All right, so you've got the dad, Mr. McGlynn. He says his 12-year-old son, Austin, came to live with him full-time back on November 18th. The problem? Those automatic child support payments? Yeah, they didn't stop. The money just kept flowing to the mother, Miss Basai. And the math here is, well, it's pretty simple. We're talking $75 a week for at least 10 whole weeks after his son was already living with him. Do the math, and that's the $750 he's trying to get back. I mean, the whole point of child support is to take care of the kid, right? So the money should follow the child. Okay, this is the moment the whole case just takes a wild turn. The judge starts questioning the mother, Ms. Busey, about why her son moved, and suddenly a way more complicated story starts to come out. So the first little piece of the puzzle drops. Miss Bus explains that right before all this happened, she'd been living with a married couple for about a year and a half. Then the judge kind of pivots and asks about her other child, who's a 9-month-old baby. And you might be thinking, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it turns out to be the absolute key to this whole situation. And then, bam, she reveals the bombshell. The father of her new baby? It's the husband from the couple she was living with. You can just imagine how tense that house must have been. But here's the crazy part. She says that's not even why she left. She left because she started getting these anonymous, life-threatening emails. Now, she can't prove it, but she's pretty sure they were coming from the wife. So you have to wonder, with all this chaos going on with the adults, what happened to her 12-year-old son, Austin? Well, his life was about to get turned completely upside down. So after she flees that house, the mother moves in with a brand new boyfriend in a totally different city. And poor Austin, he gets bounced around between different relatives and friends before he finally lands at his dad's place and finds some stability. Now, Miss Buzzy's argument is that she was just trying to protect her son, to shield him from all the drama and especially those threatening emails. From her point of view, sending him to his dad's was actually the safest move. And all of this brings us right back to the original question, the money. After all that chaos, why does she still think she gets to keep the $750? So their arguments are just worlds apart. The dad's logic is simple. Child support is for the kid. I had the kid, so I should have the money. But the mother? She's basically saying, hey, it was his job to stop the payments, and if the government was slow, that's on him, not me. So with these two totally different stories, how does the judge sort it all out? Well, her decision was about way more than just who was technically right. First off, the judge just completely shoots down that blame the government excuse. She's like, look, everyone knows government agencies are slow. That's just a fact of life. So a delay in stopping payments, not a good reason to keep money that isn't yours. But the real heart of the verdict is much deeper than that. The judge's ruling isn't really about the payment system at all. It's a comment on the mother's life choices and the sheer instability that created for her son. And that right there is the real reason for her decision. So when you look at the whole picture, the chaotic living situation and the simple fact that the father had custody, the judge rules decisively, right in his favor. And Miss Boos? She's ordered to pay back every penny. The court is basically reinforcing a core principle. Child support is for the child, wherever that child is. This whole case started with a simple question about $750, but what it really uncovered was a story of just profound instability. And it really makes you think, what's the real cost of that chaos for a kid caught in the middle? That's a question worth a whole lot more than $750.